Welcome back, everybody. Today we're diving into a world of mystery and symbolism.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
It is. We're talking about the Ordo Templi Orientis,
Better known as?
the OTO. And our guide for this journey is The Secret Rituals of the OTO,
Okay.
edited by Francis King.
All right. I'm ready.
So this deep dive is really about unlocking these secrets of rituals and practices used by occultists like Aleister Crowley.
Wow. Aleister Crowley.
He's a big one.
Yeah.
Big name. So who are the OTOs? Where did they come from and what were they really all about?
Big questions.
Yeah.
Well, the OTO claims to be an ancient organization, guiding seekers toward enlightenment and revealing hidden truths.
Yeah.
But as you get into the book, you kind of start to question those claims.
Yeah, King seems skeptical about the OTO's claims of an ancient lineage.
Right.
He suggests their roots are actually more tangled up in this occult Templarism movement of the 18th and 19th centuries.
Okay.
And it's almost as if they're trying to rewrite their history to sound more mysterious and alluring.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Knights Templar, with their dramatic history and suppression and whispers of secret knowledge,
Right.
they really captured the imagination.
For sure.
Think about it, a powerful order, disbanded under accusations of heresy and hidden rituals, whispered to possess this forbidden wisdom.
Right.
It's practically begging to be woven into some kind of captivating narrative, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like a real-life Da Vinci Code waiting to be cracked.
Totally.
And some Freemasons of that era even believed they had inherited the mantle of the Templars. They pointed to the symbolism in their own rituals as evidence of this.
Yeah, they saw these parallels between Masonic rituals, like the building of the temple and the murder of Hiram Abiff, their legendary architect.
Right.
And the story of the Templars. It's as if they were trying to unearth this lineage, connecting them to this suppressed order.
So they're kind of weaving this narrative where Freemasonry becomes a continuation of the Templar order.
Right.
Carrying their secret torch, so to speak.
Exactly.
That's where Chevalier Ramsay enters the picture, right?
Yes.
His work seems to be a key part of this whole Templar mystique.
Precisely. Ramsay, in a famous oration in 1737, claimed that Freemasons were descended from Crusader Knights,
Okay.
who, after losing the Holy Land, fled to Scotland and formed secret societies
Interesting.
to safeguard their knowledge.
Okay, so this
Now, of course, historians have debunked this theory, but it was incredibly influential at the time.
So it might not be historically accurate, but it definitely adds to the mystery.
No, for sure. It's a great story.
And Ramsay's ideas seem to have sparked this whole wave of new Masonic systems.
Yeah.
Like the strict observance
Yep.
and the right of elected koans, right?
Uh-huh.
Both drawing heavily on Templar themes.
Yes. Those systems incorporated Templar symbolism and rituals, creating this sense of continuity and intrigue.
And then there's Martins de Pasquale,
Okay.
a leader of the right of elected koans, who took things to a whole other level.
The book mentions his rituals were pretty intense.
They were.
Blending Masonic elements with Kabbalah and ceremonial magic.
Right.
And he even used incense with hallucinogenic properties.
He did.
I have to ask, what would be the purpose of that?
Well, de Pasquale believed that these practices would facilitate communication with the divine. So imagine rituals filled with smoke and chanting and altered states of consciousness.
Right.
It must have been a powerful, otherworldly experience.
Yeah.
There's even a story about him appearing to his followers after his death alongside their deceased loved ones.
Wow. That's commitment. That's not the only group claiming a Templar connection, though, right? The Order of the Temple also emerges, claiming to be the true Church of Christ, with this direct lineage to the original Templars. They even had a document, the Charter of Larminius, to kind of prove it.
Ah, yes, the Charter of Larminius. Yeah.
A document later exposed as a forgery, fabricated in the 18th century. But despite this, figures like Eliphas Levi, a prominent occultist, took the order and its claims seriously. It shows just how powerful this allure of Templar legacy was.
So we have these intertwined lineages and disputed claims to the Templar heritage.
Right.
But this sets the stage for the birth of the OTO itself. Right?
Exactly. And it's here that Karl Kellner steps onto the stage. He believed that the original Knights Templar possessed a secret doctrine of sexual magic and claimed to have rediscovered it through the teachings of 3 Oriental adepts.
Hold on. Secret teachings about sexual magic from mysterious adepts. This sounds even more intriguing. But were these adepts even real?
Well, that's where the mystery deepens.
Yeah.
There's no concrete evidence to support their existence.
Hmm.
Regardless, Kellner developed his own system of sexual magic, incorporating elements from tantric and Sufi practices. And in 1896, he founded the OTO with the goal of reviving what he believed to be the true Templar teachings.
Okay. So sexual magic becomes this central element in the OTO system right from the beginning. Did they openly advertise this aspect?
Not initially. They were quite secretive about their practices. It wasn't until 1912 that their journal Oriflamme openly declared they held the key to all Masonic and Hermetic secrets, the teaching of sexual magic.
Wow. That's quite a statement. You have to wonder what other occultists thought about this, like Franz Hartmann, a well-known theosophist. He was associated with Kellner and the early OTO, wasn't he?
He was. Hartmann was drawn to Kellner's teachings, but his involvement with the OTO raised eyebrows within the Theosophical Society,
Okay.
which had its own complex and often conflicting views on sexual practices. It's a reminder that even within the occult world, there were diverse opinions and sometimes even rivalries.
Like a secret society within a secret society.
Yeah.
And there's even a possible link to Rudolf Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy. He was involved with a group called Mysteria Mystica Maxima, which sounds very much like an OTO branch, wouldn't you say?
The evidence is compelling. Okay. However, Steiner later distanced himself from ritualistic practices and downplayed his early involvement in such groups.
Yeah, interesting.
Perhaps he was trying to protect the image of anthroposophy, or maybe he simply moved on to different areas of exploration.
Well, it adds another layer of intrigue to the OTO story.
Right.
And speaking of intriguing figures, we can't forget about the infamous Aleister Crowley.
Of course not.
His involvement really marks a turning point in the OTO's history.
Absolutely. Crowley's story is fascinating. He initially joined the lower degrees in 1911, but it wasn't until the following year that he truly grasped the depth of their system. There's a fantastic anecdote in the book where Rheus, Kellner's successor, actually accuses Crowley of revealing secrets he wasn't even aware of.
Wait, what? I love those hidden in plain sight revelations.
I know. So Rheus points to a passage in Crowley's own Book of Lies.
Okay.
And suddenly it clicks for Crowley. He recognizes the true nature of the OTO's sexual magic system hidden within his own work.
Talk about an aha moment. It's like the secret was encoded right there all along.
And shortly after, Crowley became the head of the British section of the OTO Mysteria Mystica Maxima. He took the reins and further developed the OTO's teachings, shaping them into the system we know today.
Okay, so we've uncovered the OTO's murky origins, their fascination with Templar lineage, and the emergence of key figures like Kellner and Crowley. But to really understand them, we need to delve into their system of degrees and rituals. That's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Precisely. Their beliefs and practices really come alive in those rituals. That's where we'll see how they blend ancient traditions and esoteric knowledge and, yes, those controversial elements that make the OTO such an enduring enigma. Ready to dive deeper?
Let's go. We're about to unlock the secrets of the OTO system. Stick with us.
So the OTO, they have this structured system
Okay.
with different levels of membership.
Like ranks.
Yeah. You start as a probationer.
Okay.
Then you can become a student. Often these are people who are already Freemasons.
Interesting.
And then you can move up to initiate, which is a full-fledged OTO member. Think of it as climbing a ladder.
Yeah.
Each rung representing a deeper level of understanding.
Okay, so each step unlocks more secrets and brings you closer to those core teachings.
Right.
Now, King mentions Crowley introduced some changes to this system, didn't he? Did he kind of shake things up?
He did. One of the most notable additions was the Minerval degree. It's like an introductory ritual. Gives you a taste of their philosophy and preps you for the more intense degrees to come.
Okay.
So imagine being blindfolded and bound, standing before this figure representing wisdom and authority.
That's quite an entrance.
Talk about starting off with a bang.
Yeah, not exactly a casual meet and greet. What's the symbolism there? The blindfold, the being bound?
Well, it's about surrendering to the unknown, you know, relinquishing control as you embark on this journey of initiation.
Okay.
Then there's the well, which is a powerful symbol representing hidden knowledge and the source of initiation. You're also introduced to Crowley's central text, the Book of the Law, and the core principle of Thelema, love is the law, love under will. So they're really immersing you in these core tenets right from the start.
They're not wasting any time, are they?
Nope.
It's interesting how they use these symbolic acts and texts to guide you deeper into their world. So from that dramatic entrance with the Minerval degree, how do the rituals kind of progress as you climb that ladder?
Well, the rituals become more elaborate and the oaths more serious as you ascend through the degrees.
Okay.
In the first degree, you're led through this symbolic journey of darkness and light, culminating in this declaration of brotherhood and the revelation of the first secrets.
The book mentions a tom-tom being used in this ritual. What's the significance of that?
Oh yeah, the tom-tom, it symbolizes the rhythm of life, the heartbeat of the universe. It's used to create this heightened atmosphere, a sense of anticipation as you navigate the different stages of the ritual. You're also immersed in the well again, symbolizing rebirth, cleansing. It's all very theatrically designed to leave an impression.
Yeah, they're appealing to all the senses, it sounds like.
Yes.
And they use a lot of recurring symbols. The dagger, the disc, the sun. What do those represent in their system?
Those are like visual shorthand for these complex concepts.
Okay.
The dagger often represents will and action. The disc symbolizes the divine feminine or the sun.
Okay.
And the sun, of course, represents illumination, enlightenment. You can see how these would be potent tools in these rituals
Yeah.
to evoke certain energies, certain states of mind.
Okay, so they're using this language of symbols to communicate deeper truths, almost like learning a new alphabet.
It is, yeah.
What happens when you reach the second degree? King mentions the oaths get even more serious.
The second degree really tests your commitment. You swear these oaths that could potentially jeopardize your social standing,
Wow.
even your life, in service to the order. It's a stark contrast to the more introspective nature of the earlier degrees. There's also a fascinating declaration of the rights of man, which emphasizes individual autonomy, the freedom to live according to your own will.
So they're weaving in individual liberty into their system,
Right.
which kind of resonates with Crowley's own philosophy. And then comes the third degree, shrouded in even more mystery. The book hints at this ordeal involved.
Right.
What does that entail?
That's where the details get a little hazy. King respects the secrecy surrounding those higher degrees. But we do know it's a test of courage and will, involving something called a bolometer.
A bolometer. What is that? Sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
It's described as a device
Okay.
that measures your ability to withstand pain
Okay.
and maintain silence. It's a test of both physical and mental fortitude.
Okay, so it's not just about studying ancient texts. They're really pushing you to your limits.
Okay.
And then the fourth degree, that seems to circle back to the well symbol, doesn't it?
You notice that. The fourth degree dives deeper into the symbolism of the well, connecting it to the story of Mansour Halaj, this Sufi mystic,
Okay.
who famously declared, "I am the truth." It's all about finding balance, relying on yourself, having the courage to stand up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular.
So there's a clear emphasis on self-reliance
Right.
and courage in the OTO's teachings. The book also mentions the significance of the numbers 3 and 8 within their system.
Yeah.
Do those tie into their numerology at all?
They do. Numerology plays a key role in their teachings, like in many esoteric traditions.
Right.
The number 3 often represents the Trinity, the threefold nature of reality.
Okay.
And the number 8, well, that's associated with infinity and the 8 spokes of the Wheel of Fortune. Fascinating, isn't it?
It is. These little details really bring their system to life. And then there's the infamous third degree word. The book mentions it's a closely guarded secret. Does King offer any clues about its meaning?
He does, actually. He suggests that those well-versed in Kabbalistic numerology, this system that assigns numerical values to letters and uses them to unlock these hidden meanings in texts,
Right.
they might be able to crack the code based on the clues he provides. It's like a challenge
Yeah.
to those who are truly dedicated to unraveling the OTO's mysteries.
So like they're saying, if you're serious about this, then prove your dedication. Okay, so what about the 5th and 6th degrees? The book touches on them briefly, but they seem to delve even further into esoteric symbolism and these magical practices.
You're right. The 5th degree ritual involves drinking this bitter draught, which likely symbolizes confronting your shadow self, facing those aspects of yourself you might prefer to keep hidden.
Okay.
And the 6th degree, that one centers on the symbolism of the Knights Templar
Okay.
and the Holy Grail.
And they bring in figures like Nuit, Babylon, and Baphomet,
Right.
names that are so central to Crowley's system of Philema.
Hmm.
What are their roles in the OTO system?
They represent these archetypal forces. Nuit embodies the infinite expanse of the universe. Babylon is the archetype of the Great Mother,
Okay.
and Baphomet, often depicted as this goat-headed deity, symbolizes the union of opposites, the reconciliation of duality. They're powerful images to contemplate, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like they're using these figures to map out a spiritual landscape, showing you the forces at play and how to navigate them. So we've journeyed through the first 6 degrees, each with its own unique symbols, rituals, and tests. But what about the higher degrees, the 7th, 8th, and 9th? Are those even more secretive?
The higher degrees are where the real secrets reside. They contain instructions that delve into these deeper, more esoteric and philosophical concepts,
Okay.
reserved for those who've proven their commitment and understanding. King doesn't spill all the beans, but he does give us a glimpse into some of those hidden teachings.
Let's hear it. What kind of knowledge is locked away in those higher degrees?
So in the 7th degree, you encounter this instruction called De Natura Deorum,
Okay.
which explores the nature of gods.
Across different cultures. It reveals how phallic symbolism
Okay.
is kind of woven into these various religious figures and practices, highlighting this perspective on the unity of God.
So they're not limiting themselves to just one tradition.
Right.
They're looking for like a common thread, a universal principle connecting these seemingly different beliefs. It's like they're building a bridge between different spiritual paths.
Exactly. They're looking beyond the surface,
Yeah.
seeking that underlying unity. And then in the 8th degree,
Okay.
things get even more intriguing with the instruction, De nupti secreta deorum cum hominibus.
Now that's a mouthful.
It is.
What does that even mean?
It means of the secret marriages of gods with men.
Okay, so what's the OTO's take on this whole concept of divine-human union?
Well, it's a complex topic,
Right.
for sure, drawing on mythology and mystical traditions
Okay.
that explore the idea of spiritual transformation.
Okay, so they're not just about rituals and symbols.
They're grappling with these really profound philosophical questions about human potential
Yes.
and the nature of spiritual experience.
Exactly.
And what about the 9th degree? That's like the peak of their system. What secrets are revealed there?
Well, the 9th degree focuses on the agape vel liber si bel azoth instruction,
Okay.
which deals with the wine of the Sabbath of the adepts. It's about harnessing that power of sexual energy for spiritual purposes, drawing on these alchemical concepts like a philosopher's stone.
It's interesting how they link sexual energy to spiritual transformation.
Right.
It's definitely a concept that sets them apart from many mainstream spiritual traditions.
Yeah, for sure.
The book also mentions this separate instruction
Oh, yeah.
called De Homunculus Epistola.
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about?
Well, the homunculus in traditional alchemy, it's a miniature human being, right? Created through these elaborate processes. But the OTO's interpretation seems to be more nuanced, exploring different methods of creating these beings that embody specific forces or qualities. Think of it as harnessing the power of will and intention to manifest your desires.
So they're not just passively receiving knowledge.
Right.
They're actively engaging with it.
Right.
Using these techniques to kind of shape their reality. It's a very proactive approach to spirituality.
It is. It's about taking ownership of your spiritual journey,
Yeah.
not just following a set path,
Right.
but forging your own.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
From their mysterious origins to their system of degrees and rituals to those secret instructions hidden within the higher levels. It's clear that the OTO has had a significant impact on the modern occult revival, influencing groups from Thelema to Wicca and beyond.
Yeah, their teachings, while controversial,
Sure.
they continue to resonate with people today because they offer a path to self-discovery and empowerment. It's about exploring the hidden depths of your own psyche and tapping into your inner power. It's a journey of personal transformation.
So it's not just about joining some secret society.
Yeah.
It's about embarking on this quest for self-knowledge
Right.
and spiritual growth. And for those who are intrigued by the OTO and want to learn more, where would you recommend they start?
Well, besides the secret rituals of the OTO, which we've been discussing,
Of course.
there are a wealth of resources online and in libraries, but a word of caution. Approach these materials with a critical and discerning mind.
Right, because there's a lot of misinformation and sensationalism surrounding topics like sexual magic and occultism in general.
Definitely.
It's important to do your research,
Yeah.
compare different perspectives, and think for yourself. Don't just accept everything you read at face value.
Exactly. Cultivate that healthy skepticism, that willingness to question, and seek your own understanding. Ultimately, the most valuable insights are going to come from your own personal exploration and integration of these teachings.
So this deep dive has given you a map, but it's up to you to chart your own course through this fascinating and often challenging terrain. What aspects of the OTO's teachings and practices resonated most with you? What makes them so enduringly intriguing, despite the controversies? And what does their approach to esoteric knowledge and this emphasis on personal transformation tell us about our own search for meaning and power? We'll leave you with those questions to ponder as we wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.